in their own town, and you feel stable in their own situation. That's when you can start to address other situations in their life. It's that simple. As long as you can around him and put a band-aid on an operation, you are going to continue to have this. And this is only the beginning. They have not seen anything yet. This is only the beginning. Simple.
Who's holding the press conference?
It's a very simple solution.
What time do you want to start?
It's not hard. It's not complicated. They make it complicated. They make it complicated.
Jerry's pontificating again.
One carrying both Jerry. 33.
Unity Party. We got 6 people on the ballot.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, friends, lovers, children of all ages.
That means trying to come together.
That's Therese.
Not left, not right.
She's at D Hall. We have a variety of friends and family here, housed and unhoused. Variety of shelter situations. Benjamin from Denver Homeless Out Loud. Over here. We're waiting.
I think we're mostly waiting
on an attorney to arrive, I believe, so that we may have
go, man.
What's going on?
we're having a press conference. You want to come join us? It's all about taking care of the unhoused members of our community. Yeah. Nice. That was a drive. Oops. So yes, we are here waiting on Denver Homeless Out Loud. And attorney Andy McNulty to engage us.
Sure. You keep getting closer to me. I was over here by myself.
Was it just
got a few more signs for me. Wants to come up with a sign.
Do it, you know you want to.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So, just gonna kick us off here. You hear from a whole bunch of folks.
By the way, Anna Sophia Cornelius is the newest addition to the D Hall team.
A number of folks who are around us right now, a part of our crowd, who are about to be displaced tomorrow.
Boo!
Oh.
And the day after that, and the day after that, and onward and onward and onward. We have a really important big announcement to make, but we're going to hear that announcement last. First, we're going to hear from some residents of this camp about what the real effects are of these sweeps, of these move-on orders, of this seizure of property, this violation of rights that's happening day after day after day. So I'm going to start out by calling up one of the plaintiffs in a lawsuit you'll be hearing about soon. Somebody who has had experience with sweep after sweep. Lunch meat, will you come on up?
Yeah, we've been displaced from down at the river, trying to camp, and the places where camping looks like it would be all right, you know, you think. And we lost all of our stuff at Civic Park. They started building the fence around us before they ever told us to get out. And We lost everything. My wife and I had to start over several times. Really hard. Really hard.
Thank you. Lunch meeting. I'm not sure if the other residents are here right now. Tomasa, can you hear me? If Tomasa's here. Tomasa, calling to the mic. Might have to come back with Tomasa. So as we're waiting on Tomasa, let's have neighbors around here. Residents who live in houses in this neighborhood are here to say why they oppose these sweeps. Why they say no. We are residents living in houses and we don't think that people should be swept from block to block. So we're very honored to have some neighbors right here in this very block. Alexis and Nike. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Please come on up.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike. I live in the building right there over there. I have a full-time job. Every weekend I go groceries in Natural Grocer, which is 3 blocks from here, in that direction. Last week, I received a message from the management of my building. Let me pull it up. It says, notice posted for sweep of encampment at 14th and Logan on October 6th. There may be a lot of activity in the surrounding areas between now and then. Please do not hesitate to confront range patrol if needed. For the people who are experiencing distress and chaos due to the dislocation, I think there are more we can do for them than calling the security. Tomorrow, Alexis, my partner, and I, although we just move from one block to another, and then we hear from another community that have the same frustrations and the same dialogues that we are having until today. I know it's a lot to ask because it's easy to just call police. Like this time, we're going to emerge. Thank you.
So my name is Alexis, and I'm also a resident at that building over there that looks out straight into the encampment on this street, Logan Street, and people have differing opinions on a solution to homelessness, and we had opportunities to hear from them. We posted 2 days ago on the Nextdoor social media app that we were holding a protest tomorrow. We got from 20 people about 200 comments, and many of them were depicting the houseless people as criminals, drug dealers, and then brushing over all of them as, as criminals. Like no one was worth, being housed. And so we understand that the opinions differ, but before they get to that, people often say, we feel for the homeless people. And so I see that as contradictions when people feel for people in our neighborhood, right? Feel for the homeless people and yet call them criminals, and yet don't want them to be near their neighborhood. So it's kind of like not in my backyard for homeless, for this homeless encampment, right? Put him in another yard that is not mine, right? Without actually addressing the solution. So I'm saying the same things as Mika, but yet we really understand that people don't want anything to happen to other people, right? And that's how they start a conversation. And so maybe we can draw upon that commonality, right? And get to solutions instead of sweeping, right? Address Chris Hines, right? Address a message to the mayor.
Where is Chris Hines?
Where is Chris Hines? Exactly.
Number 2, where are you?
That's right.
Chris Hines.
So this is a message, right? The people here probably don't need to hear this, but the people who are not here, the Chris Hines of the world, my fellow neighbors, other fellow neighbors, they're not all here, right? So that's a work we have to do. Yeah, thank you so much for this platform.
Thank you to neighbors for speaking up for folks' rights. Next, we have an important person to hear from, somebody who has been through this time and time again. Green Eyes, you are up. Come on up.
Yeah. How you guys doing? Okay. Yeah, I thought it was kind of unfair about what happened down there at the park. They took out the loan games and stuff the same day. They didn't give us a notice. We just came and woke up to, you know, how the beeping sound, beep, beep, beep. I woke up to that and they okay. Yeah. Then they took all our stuff. Trashed it. So I think that was fair. And then, like, we ended up moving over, like a block over, like, and, you know, we have our tents here now, and now they're giving us another warning, telling us that we gotta move again. So, trying to figure out what we gotta do, what kind of help we can get, you know, or any resources. We don't have a lot of people coming out letting us know, you know, where to go next or what to do. So I'm trying to figure that out. But I'm just trying to say, hey, if they can give us a little bit more time, you know what I mean? Like another week or two just to figure out some more stuff, or if they can give us information on where to go, that'd be great, you know?
Move along to where?
Huh?
Move along to where?
Yeah, move along to where? I don't know where. So like tomorrow we're gonna be packing our stuff and trying to figure out where to go, but all our stuff is gone again. I like that song.
That's right.
I'll tell you. Yeah, man. But I mean, I appreciate you guys' support and everything for the homeless out here. And that gives us a lot of help. A lot of people coming out here, giving us food, stuff like that. So we can survive. I appreciate that. Y'all real cool, man.
What do you think of this model camp that you set up over the weekend with facilities?
I don't know anything about that.
It's safe outside.
Oh,
So that's safe outside.
safe outside the camp. Safe outdoor space.
So they're talking
It's
about a
putting up a camp, putting up a sanctuary camp where I and live without that y'all can get yourself together and work together, and then the city do their part as far as getting housing available for you guys.
Yeah, but for right now, I mean, I'm like, shoot, it'd be better if they just gave us some new tents. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it was such an eyesore and everything, you might as well get, nice little new tents and have a little bit of rules. Tell them, keep all your stuff in the tent instead of leaving it out on the sidewalk and stuff. Work together on this.
What happened in the shelter?
I mean, it's all right, but it's just overcrowded. Not even that, but they got a lot of stipulations, a lot of people don't want to. We're home.
I suggest you take a night in a shelter.
Yeah, let us hear you.
Then you'll know.
Yeah.
Don't announce that you're
Yeah,
going.
I've done it already. I've been to a couple shelters. So, like New Genesis down the street, things like that. I've been to those shelters.
That's not a shelter. They make you pay to stay at
They
New
make
Genesis.
you pay to stay like $70 a week.
Amen.
Yeah. So it's not really helping you. You're actually helping them.
Exactly.
Other than new tents, what would be helpful to you?
Water.
Water.
like place where you can shower. They got so much portable stuff nowadays. I've seen like portable showers like $20 on like Amazon. You know, you get a bucket and fill it with water, and you got a little motor and shoots on it. I thought that was cool. $20. I appreciate them putting that porta potty over there. We can have that for the longest. So
Thanks to Denver Homeless Out Loud. Do not give the city credit when they ain't doing anything. That was done by Denver Homeless Out Loud, and the water station came by MAD, M-A-D, Mutual Aid something.
Denver.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
that for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Just show us some love on that. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Let us know where we're going next. Yeah, ahead of time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we want to hear from some of the organizations that are here. There's a whole bunch of organizations that are a part of this resistance of the sweeps of the inhumanity. There's groups like DSA, like PSA, WOW, the Wall of Moms, a whole bunch of groups. There's lots of others we come from. So we want to just at least hear quickly from one organization that's here to speak out against the sweeps and to talk about how this criminalization of homelessness is tied directly to racism and to our fucked up, our problematic housing policies. The what's going on in our housing, what's going on in terms of racism in our nation and police brutality and homelessness are all interconnected. So I want to call up Nate to say a few words from PSL. Thank you.
Yeah, give it up to Nate.
Yeah.
So during this pandemic, the city of Denver continually refuses to meet the needs and requirements that the CDC has put out. With no other options, displaced people are forced to move along and disperse elsewhere throughout the city until the next time they're left. This is an absurd, cruel, and inhumane response to the homelessness crisis here. In Denver, there's empty housing all over. About 20,560 units. And this housing should not sit empty. While the city of Denver counts millions of dollars from developers and mishandles taxpayer money, they refuse to support the unhoused community without even on their basic needs. Like my friend over here said, the community here itself has raised $20,000 for the sanitation stations. Mutual aid networks help provide food, clothes, and materials while the city sits on taxpayer money. Right. Spend it on sweeps to enact violence on the people that they swore to serve. Rather, the community continuously pays for fences to block off parks. They pay for cops to fence off encampments at 4 a.m. and to sweep them violently. They pay for weapons and ammunition to attack protesters that stand up for their unhoused neighbors. They pay for waste workers to bulldoze the tents of our neighbors and carelessly throw away their belongings. This week, this will be the fourth encampment in the last 3 weeks that the city has left. And these residents have no help, no solutions, and no answers whatsoever, even despite their efforts and their proposals to the city. These proposals are well thought out, well planned, and they are viable solutions. These solutions have worked in other cities all over the U.S., but still the city gives no response. These crimes against our neighbors are inhumane, and we stand with them in our demands. Housing is a human right, and we demand housing, not sweeps. Thank you.
Thank you. There's another resident, I believe, that's going to kind of come speak with us. Sophie, are you around still? Sophie.
Congratulations.
When is the government going to help the couples? Instead of separating us and making us get divorces, which makes our divorce rate go up, why not build apartments for couples? And I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I'm 40. Okay? The government hasn't done shit. And they won't do shit. That's their problem. They want to sweep us and sweep us and sweep us until we get tired and then we start taking it out on the police. Because that's the next day. I'm promising you. Because I'm tired of this week. And we have people coming out, and they're going to protest tomorrow. So guess what? The sweep is going to be canceled. Wonder why? Because they did it at the school. And they gave us two extra months at the school. I've seen it happen so many times. And so many times, we bust our butts keeping things clean. I get up at 5:30 every morning. That's my team right there. I get up at 5:30 every morning to make sure this place is clean. To make sure that their trash is taken out. To make sure their yard's taken care of. To make sure that that when the maintenance man come in, they don't have a worry because it's already been done. I do that. Not the government, not Polis, not Mayor Hancock. Because if he did, he should put himself one day in our shoes. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't make it. And for every preppy person out here that wants to say, go kill yourselves because you're a paycheck away from being here. And then be asking me for my help. I mean, I've had people threaten my life. On a daily, we deal with that. On a daily. There's nothing that we don't deal with on a daily. And not all of us are drug dealers. And not all of us are out here being sick. And not all of us are out here causing havoc. Not all of us are out here doing something stupid. Some of us are on waiting lists to get housing. So some of us have done the housing thing. And some of us have done the government thing. I just got out of prison in April, okay? I'm on a waiting list, and I've been on a waiting list for 3 years now. Through St. Francis. So, the moral of the story is, the government ain't did shit, and they ain't gonna do shit. And they're not. They're gonna sit on their little preppy butts in their office and sit there and do nothing. And when their police officers start getting beat up, because that's the next step, because the homeless are getting tired of being swept, we're getting tired of not being backed, we're getting tired of standing alone. Stand alone for what? Tomorrow I'll be standing with the protesters. Tomorrow I will. I don't know about anybody else, but I will. And then we'll see what gets done. Because the homeless needs to start banding together and standing together instead of being divided. Forget all this divided shit and let's fight my neighbor because that's the best thing to do. No. Get yourself up, protest, deal with the government the way you need to deal with the government. Maybe if they heard one or more of our voices, maybe they would get it through their thick heads that we're tired of their bullshit and we're not going to tolerate it anymore. To be swept. Go somewhere else and sleep something else. Go home and sleep your floor. Go home, deal with your wife. Go home, deal with your husband. Go home and deal with something else besides dealing with the homeless. Because we're out here doing nothing wrong. Leave us the fuck alone. Go on and get some criminals that are out here causing ruckus, breaking into places, and doing something stupid. If I'm in my tent, leave me the hell alone because I ain't answering my door. No Denver police officer. Point blank period. You can't come in my door if I don't invite you. You can't come in that door if I don't invite you. You ain't invited, don't come in that door. Because you're going to get the wrong end of the deal. Period. Come in my door. It's to make my day long. It's just like a house. That's my house. You're invading it. Moral of the story is we need to stand together, not divided, united, and we need to start doing it tomorrow. So these cops and this government will understand that Sophrono Lynn Elias is not going nowhere.
Thank you, Sophie. Speaking for everybody right there, that was powerful. Thank you. I'm going to call up somebody else who has plenty of experience with sweeps, with being moved on, with the police, with all of this bullshit. And before I do that, I just want to say one thing about what brought us to this place right now. We're not in this position right now with thousands, and I mean thousands, of people living on our streets in tents or with tarps or with nothing, because people want to be, because people are saying, I think I'm just going to leave my house and go sleep on the streets. No, that's not what's happening. We're now because we have a history of policies and practices that have led us to this position by our government. We used to have low-income public housing. That housing was smashed and demolished by our federal government back in the early 80s. And instead, they started reinvesting that money on token levels, not full levels, but token levels, in shelters. They have decided that shelters are the homelessness. The answer to where you should tell people to go is that you should go live in a warehouse. Human beings have basic dignity, basic rights. Human beings should not be put in warehouses. That's what jails are for. Jails are warehouses. Shelters and jails have very little difference between each other. We have basic rights, and we need to start looking at that in terms of our ability to create real housing for folks that we've seen in the past can do. It's available. We have the resources to do it. And instead, we blame people who are here on the streets, blaming people for their homelessness as opposed to blaming our system for creating that mass homelessness. That's the history of why we're here right now, not because a bunch of lazy individuals decided to go live on the streets. So I just want to give us that context real quick. And I'm going to pass the mic off real quick here to one of my colleagues at Denver Homeless Out Loud, Jerry Burden. Come on up.
Give it up, Jerry!
Good morning. Thank y'all for coming out here. One thing I want to tell you is this. This has to end. And as I have been saying, and she reiterated, we as unhoused and we as houses, we must all come together in order to get the solution solved that everybody can have a house. Now, let me tell you about, she said she was on a waiting list. Let me talk about the waiting list. The waiting list, yeah, you're right, it's a waiting list. You will wait for two reasons. One, a person who is already on Section 8 or in low-income housing, they die. Then the next person move up. So if you number 100 on the line, you probably got to wait until 101 person pass away that living in these houses. Second, you can get in through eviction. So that means that in order for you to get into low-income housing or housing that you can attain or afford according to your income, you must either wait for one person to die or one person to get evicted, which means you are living off someone else's misery. And that is not the way the world is supposed to be running. See, all of this is pathetic. Building houses, as in the Bible it says, they will build houses and not live in them. Prime example, go down to 5 Point Wells, California. All of those high rises down there, they are built, and no one is staying in all of those apartments down there. See, that's prophetic, baby. That's prophetic. Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. What we need to do, I'm gonna give y'all a solution here today. The solution is this. Stand together, demand, because you deserve to be treated better than this. And your houses, let me tell you something about that 300 as well. That 300, when they said people you be coming out your house in the morning, you'll be stepping over people living out in tents, they are making that come true. Yeah. They are making that come true because you go down in all the area downtown, down in the 5 Points area where most of the majority of the people were living, they have put rocks, planter pots, fence up, and like they did Jerryville, now they're going back to using metal fences. Metal fences. You tell me that is public property. You own that. I own that. We have a right to use it according to what we want to use it to, not according to just because to put fences up and don't want to see you inside. If they don't want to see you, they should put you in a house. It's that simple.
Amen.
It's that simple. That's just like if you don't want to see war, we don't fight here. We go over there. That's to keep all people from sinning. It's the same thing. No matter how you look at it, the point is everybody deserves a place that they can call their own, that they can rent according to the income and not according to how much an individual can make. Now, the advantages of housing everybody is this. If you get everybody into housing, guess what? When people come to your city doing tourism, when it's open back up, if it ever open back up, fully, they come here and they be like, oh, wow, I love going to Denver. I don't see nobody living in tents. I don't see nobody living in safe outdoor spaces. They all got housing. Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Okay, now what you need to do now is this. Every time they get ready to sweep people, and this is for your houses as well, you need to show up and protest and say, the solution is housing, not sweep. The solution is now, not tomorrow, because I would tell you like this has been going on for 8 years. 8 years, sweep. I've been part of them, but you know, I'm hard-headed. At least that's what Mama used to tell me. Because she all tell me, I do it anyway. Now, move along. Move along to where? Move along to a damn house. That's the solution. Move along to a house or apartment that people can afford. It's that simple. And I can talk all day, but if you want changes, get out and vote. Get out and vote. And make sure that you get to know the people that you're voting for, because you want someone in that are not going to listen to the lobbyists that can't be bought off. You want somebody in there that has integrity, morals, and standards, and that has got your best interest at heart, not cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
I live over there. Hi. I don't need that. Trisha.
All right, I'm going to call up Trisha, a resident from the camp. Goodbye.
Go, Trisha.
You got great song.
Go ahead.
I live over there. You live over there. It's horrible. Just like every place you go where there's a big, like group of people that don't know what they're doing. I mean, we're all fucked up. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. We're all fucked up. All right. What do I need to do?
We are all fucked up.
Yeah!
Truth is that none of us come outside because we want to. None of us come outside. You're gonna make me cry. None of us come outside because we want to. It just happens. And I have to be honest, man, Denver, with the COVID thing and letting us have a 9-1 door, because we've been sleeping next to dumpsters. And we've been sleeping next to dumpsters and being yelled at 3 in the morning by people who are high because they have an apartment. This is like the funnest thing we've done. No matter what, you have to know that that's the threshold, right? That you have to. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting to do this. I was really not expecting to do this. I really.
We support you! We support your voice!
None of us ever expected to be out here. And we don't want to be out here. We don't want to. But some of us don't want to be in there. Most of us don't want to be in there.
Where's there?
I don't know where there is. In and out with housing, fucking whoring over us, and dangling our lives in front of our asses like Like, if you don't do this, then we're gonna take it away. Now that's coming to people who are on walkers and in wheelchairs, and don't let all those people in. Let your friends in. Don't let your friends in. Now, I'm a fully faculty. Okay, I'm crazy. But I'm crazy good. Okay, crazy good. There are people out there that couldn't possibly live out here. They couldn't possibly live out here. And they're so scared every day that someone's gonna snatch it away. Fuck those bitches. I let them take my shit away. But they are going. They do it. They do this dangle thing. This dangle thing where they're like, oh, you need a walker? Oh, you can't poop outside? Oh, okay, well then don't ever have a friend over. Don't ever do anything that is something that acts like you're just waiting to die. I'm so sorry, but that is real.
Yes.
That is fucking real.
Yes.
They make them sit in their apartments all the time. I did not know I was gonna do this. Sorry.
Real. This is real. People need to fucking hear this shit.
They're stuck in their apartments. They're stuck in their apartments with no friends and no life. I got evicted because I'm not that girl, but I'm only 48, you know? Like, they're 68. They need it. They need... Who wants to get busy dying? You either get busy living or you get busy dying.
No shout redemption.
And there is an entire population of people on Cap Hill that I'm aware of. They're getting busy dying because, and that's not having anything to do with these 10 people. Nothing to do with this. None of that has anything to do with it. It has to do with the housing part. They won't let people have friends. They won't let people have friends. They won't let people have boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever. And you know, Tara, this is fucking killing me, bro.
Sorry,
Yeah, thank you.
Doing great.
she's a veteran.
I am a veteran.
She served our country.
I'm
for
a homeless.
years.
I am
doesn't
a
deserve
homeless
this.
veteran. I was in the Army. I was a 91 Alpha combat medical specialist. And I live in a tent right over there. But I hate that tent because people are so ugly and awful.
You deserve a house.
You can walk across the street. You can walk across the street and you guys will feel anybody that's over here because you guys are so fucking cool to be here right now. You go across the street and you'll feel the wall of negativity. You'll feel it. You'll feel it when you walk across the street because they're so sad. Oh my God. Knows what to do. I'll play a song for you, but I'm not done talking.
I gotta call up our last two speakers here. So we're gonna call up our last two speakers and this song again, alright? I'm gonna call up somebody who was at the Lincoln Park suite, who was brutally pushed over by the park, or I'm sorry, the state troopers and the police, and who is an elected representative here. So I'd like to call up Jay Anderson.
What's going on here is egregious. From Maury to Lincoln Park to over there on Weldon Street, we are in the middle of a pandemic where the governor has still refused to put a moratorium on evictions. Republican governors have stepped up and said we are going to put moratoriums on evictions, and our own Democratic governor has failed to do so. And we have a mayor that said we can do better and better. We are still waiting on that. They spent millions of dollars in a campaign to oppose the overturning of the urban camping ban, but not one of those donors has put millions of dollars into supporting the unhoused neighbors and saying, instead of us having homeless folks on the streets, let me build them something for them to stay in. So we know their answers. When you have neighbors of Cap Hill, my neighbors, because I live in Cap Hill, that are saying they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, and etc. I honestly didn't know if Donald Trump was saying that or if that was my neighbors. Because that is the same language this president used to talk about our undocumented brothers and sisters, and now even Democrats that live in Cap Hill are using that same message when it fits them. So elected officials have to do better, because a lot of these elected officials have stood up and campaigned against the immoral treatment of our unhoused neighbors, but none of them will actually come out here and stand in their shoes, besides Councilwoman Candice DeBaca.
Amen.
We want candy!
So we have to continue to remain allies in this fight with our unhoused neighbors, because most of these folks just keep getting moved block to block to block, and it's doing nothing. We are wasting city resources. I was disgusted when I seen these sweep over by Coors Field, and they're literally caging folks in now because they can no longer control the protesters. I won't even call them protesters. The unhoused advocates that are saying, look, you're going to move them either way. Let me support them in moving. Nobody has come to these camps to say, let's chain ourselves to a town. I've not seen that once. What I have seen is people show up time and time again to say, I have a minivan. Let me use my minivan and put their stuff in there. The police say no. They can do it on themselves. There was an individual who didn't have a leg, who was in a wheelchair, who said, I want them to help me get my stuff. And police officers said, no. That is not the police force we need.
That's not doing better.
That's not doing better. When we talk about defunding the police and then they're abusing homeless citizens, they're abusing the advocates of the homeless. There was a young man that was arrested at one of the last sweeps that I was at, where he was punched in his back and he was kneeled on with a police officer's knee to his neck. In light of what we've seen with George Floyd, Denver police are practicing the same tactics. We are better than that. And so I'll end with this to say, Mary, I challenge you, and I'll walk with you. I don't like you that much, but I'll walk with you.
I will too.
We will walk with you, and let's spend a day at these camps. Let's talk to these individuals, because they have not lost their right to vote. They are still your constituents. They are still Denverites. They are our people, and we must continue to protect them. So Mayor Hancock and City Council, that challenge is out to you right now. Let's come and let's spend a day. Let's spend the night. Let's get our own tent. And let's be out here to actually understand what's going on, because winter is approaching. And we need to be here with our unhoused neighbors, or we need to start opening up these empty office spaces and start putting people in housing or in some sort of housing so folks have shelter over their head. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. There's one more person I'm going to call up today. This person has a very important announcement. This announcement has to do with the fact that we're not going to sit back on our hands and just let the government get away with shit. We're not going to sit back and let them take people's stuff in violation of a lawsuit agreement that we made with the city about 2.5 years ago. The city made agreements with us as Never Homeless Out Loud and with every person who's homeless on the street to give people proper notice, to store people's stuff, They have not been following that agreement. During a pandemic, they have been chasing people from block to block. We're not going to sit back and let this happen. We make our voices heard. We stand in support on the streets every day. And now we're moving that support not just to the streets, not just to the legislator, but to the courts. I'm going to call up Andy McNulty to talk about what's happening right now in the courts.
You know we're being kicked out tomorrow morning at 3 in the morning, right?
Hi everyone, my name is Andy McNulty, and just thanks everyone for coming out today. I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be standing up here telling you about a new lawsuit that we had to file because the city of Denver is violating a settlement agreement in an old lawsuit. I don't want to be standing up here because the city of Denver continues to throw away our unhoused neighbors' possessions. I don't want to be standing up here telling you that the city of Denver refuses to give notice despite a lawsuit, a settlement agreement where they agreed to give notice before sweeping. I don't want to be standing up here in the middle of a pandemic telling you that your city and state government doesn't care about CDC recommendations, that your city and state government doesn't care about public health, that they don't care that the CDC has said you should not sweep homeless encampments during the COVID-19 pandemic. But I have to stand up here. I have to, because someone does. And 8 of our unhoused neighbors are standing up with me. Denver Homeless Out Loud is standing up here with me saying enough is enough. Stop the sweeps. Stop the abject cruelty. Stop what you're doing and stop hurting our neighbors. And so that's what this lawsuit's announcing today. The lawsuit is based on the United States and Colorado Constitution. It's saying that the city of Denver and the state of Colorado have violated that Constitution during the sweeps at Maury Middle School, during the sweeps at Lincoln Park, during a sweep down on the South Platte River, and during numerous other sweeps during the pandemic. They continue to not only sweep our unhoused neighbors, but enforce the camping ban, telling people consistently to move along. Move along to where? To congregate shelters where the risk of contracting COVID-19 is significantly higher than anywhere else. To a place that's basically the same as a jail, which we've seen across the country have been hotbeds for coronavirus. That is where the city is trying to sweep people. And why are they doing it? Why are they doing it without notice? Because they're afraid of people showing up to hold them accountable.
Yeah!
They're afraid of you. They're afraid of people seeing the abject cruelty that they display during these sweeps. That's why they're doing it. They're afraid of Candy Citabata tipping people off. So, my call to action to you is to keep showing up. Don't give in and expose what is happening every single day. Because it's not just unconstitutional, it's immoral. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I'm not happy to answer any questions. Sure, it was filed in federal court today. The plaintiff is Denver Homeless Out Loud and then 8 unhoused individuals who had their possessions taken and are vulnerable to.
What are the hopes
The hope is to stop the sweeps. That's the ultimate goal is to stop the sweeps from continuing to happen and the enforcement of the campus ban continuing to happen. That's it.
So this is a lawsuit claiming that the settlement agreement hasn't been followed.
Correct. That's part of it. Certainly, the part of it is that the settlement agreement has been breached multiple times by the city of Denver. But the other part of it is that the city continues to violate the United States Constitution and the Colorado Constitution by conducting sweeps in the way that they're conducting them and conducting them during the COVID-19 pandemic when they know sweeping exposes unhoused folks to substantially greater danger.
How quickly can we get a hearing on it?
We're hoping to have a hearing within the next couple of weeks. Not by tomorrow, probably.
Is lunch being one of the plaintiffs?
Lunchbeat is one of the plaintiffs, yes.
What's his name? See the area?
Yeah, he's one of the couple. His name is Rick Meitzen. Jr. Rick Meitzen Jr.
Green Eyes is also a lead play diff.
What's Green Eyes' name?
No, Michael. Michael something.
I always forget the name. I only call them by their
Andy, at the settlement agreement hearing when the judge ruled over the initial Denver versus Lyle et al., the judge said if this isn't being filed, give me notice, let me know so that we can be accountable. And in which ways is this? Like, what are you hoping to achieve differently than filing against the original settlement?
Yeah, so we're looking to completely stop the sweeps during COVID-19 at least, and stop them in general from happening. So not just the stipulations from the Lyle settlement, but stopping the sweeps.
Thank you.
What are the consequences for the city if they lose?
Complying with the Constitution and basic human rights. Also, they can lose.
I guess my question is, who's going to jail? Force them to comply.
There is no jail, but this is filed as a class action lawsuit, so it's a class action based on a number of different folks who had their property seized. So everyone who had their property taken at the Lincoln Park sweep and everyone who had their property taken down the South Platte River, if we won, would be entitled to damages for having their property seized and thrown away.
That's right.
Yeah. Ain't no selling our court right now.
Any comments or interaction with the city or state after you sent this notice?
They have not responded.
What are your suggestions to the unhoused residents who are being swept this week and in the future until the injunction is met? Like, what do you recommend for folks to do when they're being swept?
Yeah, I would recommend that folks, document everything that's happening to them because, there could be additions to this lawsuit if there's ongoing suits.
Come back out here and set another kid. I will.
All right.
Happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you guys. So this means that we are going to be fighting in the courts and on the streets simultaneously in these next few months. And tomorrow we're back on the streets because what's happening here tomorrow? Hopefully nothing, but the city is planning on coming and trying to kick everybody out. So show up here tomorrow, bright and early. They've been coming as early as 5 a.m. That's just fucking early, but come at 3 o'clock. Sometimes as early as 3. Yeah, really fucking early. Be here at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And then tomorrow they're hitting the next block, and then the day after that they're hitting 2 blocks down. They have a whole series of sweeps, 1 block after the other. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday planned. So if you can bring food or water to support folks, help folks to be able to eat and drink at least while they're dealing with this crisis. And just be here to support and follow the leadership of the residents of the camp. We don't want to do anything that residents of the camp don't want. So follow that leadership. Let's respect folks. Do everything we can to support folks on the streets tomorrow.
And I hate to say this, but it's scared and it needs to go. Tomorrow, today, later on, I'm going to try to find a spot. And housed along with the unhoused. And we are going to go there, and we are going to sit right there, and we are going to camp right there until houses start coming. Now, hey, there are going to be some things that might happen. But the thing about it is, until we put pressure on the city to stop this and this type of format, not to be violent, but just refuse, lock arms, and say we refuse to move until we get housing. Now I'm down, as long as I got people that are down with me. Now, one thing I want to say before we do this, if you're afraid that you have a warrant or anything of that nature, I would say when they show up, nothing wrong with you backing away. But for those who do not have a warrant already, I say that this is the way to go to do it, but we have to do it peacefully and we have to do it together. Houses along with the unhoused. Alright, so Carl to read, she'll know more. I got an area in mind, but it's a little way off, but it's okay. Alright? So if y'all want to do that, hit us up. Hit us up, 'cause I'm down. So this has got to stop. And until you make a stand, they are going to continue to do this. They are going to continue to do this because I'm going to tell you, in the 60s, hey, during the 60s, my ancestors, along with some of y'all, they were swept with water. They were dogs and pipes and everything like that. And they were bringing some federal attention to this on the federal side. Hey, this is the only way we're going to be able to stop this crap, man. But this is ridiculous. Thank you, guys.
Stop the police brutality! Stop the police brutality of the city!
And that, folks, is a wrap. We'll be here all day, all night, it looks like. Or at least tomorrow.
Population in Denver, Colorado is like 4.2%
Thank you. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about Cats Not Cops?
Well,
Or do you want to? Well, you're live, so you better make it my quick. 3, 2, 1. We're passing time online.
well, I'll start off by, I've been here in the community for over 13 years. I've seen a lot of things happen.
This
But
one.
I continue seeing disparity increase, more trauma to people in our community. And we started working with various groups, and my daughter came up with the message, Cats Not Cops. And we believe in life, everybody's life, and we believe in standing against police brutality.
Okay.
We also believe in taking care of the people who need it the most, like our homeless community right now, who are facing a lot of trauma without a home, for one, but also the trauma of where are they going to go tomorrow when they're swept, when they're living in tents, some.
Okay, so where do we find out more about Cats Not Cops?
www.catsnotcops.com.
And where can we meet you in person?
Well, you can call me
Sundays.
anytime,
Sundays.
or you can come Sunday, October 11th, 18th, and 25th. We will be meeting at the Tivoli Quad 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and we're accepting houses, families, and people. And also, you can call me anytime if you'd like to collaborate on our community outreach.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Sarah. Yeah, there we go. We got the mods posting Cats Not Cops on the website on the live stream too. So
I'm glad you came back with him. Okay.
So we're gonna cut the feed at this point, folks. We'll be out here at 14th and Logan tomorrow for sure. Keep an eye on things. And I need to give a big thank you to it basically is suing for contempt of COVID, and I want to send a big thank you to Lucy Ruth. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. We'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for being in here on the live chats. Big Tim, One Man Army, MCW Joker, Texas Bud, Frank Sturgill, Barbara Downey, and all who are hanging out. Huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.